Hi, everybody. All right, so you're watching this video because you were absent on Friday. First of all, those of you who are not feeling very well, I hope you feel better soon. Take the weekend, get some sleep, drink some water, stay hydrated, and hopefully we'll see you on Monday. We started out the day just with our 5-minute observations. Nothing special that you have to do for mason jars today. Let me know if I'm going to come in and water at least one time this weekend. And if there are any huge significant changes, then I'll let you guys know. Otherwise, just know that I'll come in and check on them and water them one time. Okay? All right, so we finished, just making sure that you finished number 10. You're drawing, you're using your colored pencils to complete the equations for both photosynthesis and cellular respiration. And the idea here is just it's a review, it's a reiteration that photosynthesis and cellular respiration share the same number and types of atoms. They're just different substances. And that the reactant for one is the product for another. And the product for one is the reactant for the other. So it's just that cycle that goes over and over again. Number 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 are going to ask you to take a look at the type of atoms and the number of atoms that they were in the reactants of respiration. So this looks very similar to what we did on page, let's see, 1, 2, 3, on page 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're different orders. So this is asking about the total oxygen, the total hydrogen, the total carbon. Just remember, the oxygen was purple. How many purple Skittles did you have yesterday? And so there were 18. And how many red hydrogens did you have? How many green carbons did you have? If you have not been able to do this activity yet, then we'll hang tight until Monday, and then I'll have you use those. Probably won't have you use Skittles. I had issues with those, and so we're not using those anymore. But I'll have you use something else, and we'll do this. Otherwise, just think about it. What I'm asking you is, you're seeing the pattern that it's the same type of atoms and the same number of atoms. Okay, so go ahead and fill that out. Make sure that you are reading it carefully so you attribute the right number of the correct atom for each one. Number 17 is asking about the pattern that you notice between how many atoms are in the reactants and how many are in the product. They're the same, right? So just in your own words, go ahead and answer that. And then the rest of the packet is just questions, review questions. One of the things that is super important as a scientist is that you consider why you did the lab that you did. This is a model. We used Skittles to model chemical reactions and the process of photosynthesis and the process of cellular respiration. And so bear that in mind and don't try and just answer the questions quickly. Really think about it. Number 18 is asking about what your observations about photosynthesis and cellular respiration formula. Just be thoughtful about that and answer. I'm not necessarily looking for one particular answer. I just want you to, like, what are your thoughts about the photosynthesis and cellular respiration formulas? If you can't remember the formulas, or if you're really having a hard time going through and looking, go back to this second page after the background information paragraphs. And remember, here is the formula for photosynthesis, and here's the formula for cellular respiration. And so just always come back to that and kind of consider it. And then in that graph, we wrote out the common names. And so it might be easier for you if you're looking at those, like CO2, it might be hard, like you can't remember that's carbon dioxide. Then just look at the common names that you had filled out in this table to answer the questions. Number 19 is asking about the law of conservation of matter. So go back to your background information. That last paragraph down at the bottom talks about what the law of conservation of matter is. And then number 20 asks like an application question about the law of conservation of matter. How was that demonstrated in this lab? So that's kind of something you need to engage your brain and really think about that. And then number 21 is asking you about the products of photosynthesis and why they're necessary for life on Earth. And so come back here, look at the product, look in your little table, what products are given off for photosynthesis and why is that necessary for life on Earth? Okay. And then the back question, it's labeled bonus question, but I made everybody do it. What's the relationship between the products of cellular respiration and our respiratory system? So again, you're looking at the product of cellular respiration, so that would be right down here, and our respiratory system. If you can't remember, you guys did body systems in 6th grade. If you cannot remember what the respiratory system is, you have the World Wide Web at your fingertips. Look it up and then ask yourself, how are the products of respiration and our respiratory system, how are they related? Okay? If you have any questions, you can let me know. If you have your packet here at school, I'm going to give you an extra day. You can just finish filling it out on Tuesday, turn it in on Tuesday during guided study, or if you're in band and you don't have guided study on Monday, then you can give it to me on Wednesday. I'm going to be pretty flexible with you guys as you're sick. All right? Okay, you guys, get better. Hope you feel better. See ya.